So let's take a first look at Aria. Aria, pre-orc, multi-patches, single patches, perf patches, measured tremolo, and sound design. So how do you want to do this? Should we just jump in at the multi, go through it that way, or do you want to do single ones, perf patches? I imagine that's performance. Okay, this is gonna be a thing, right? So let's go multis. Multi-section. Let's check out them violins first. Let's just start at the top. So, what's this called? Cinematic ensemble strings. It's pretty fast for a legato. Okay, we're done. So do we have the same thing? So this feels like Nucleus. It feels like a full, not full version. What would you say? Like a beefier version of Nucleus. That's what I'm starting to get from the UI. That's what it looks like. Oh, we've got the sample start again. So we put this at 250. Then now. Now I explain this a lot, but this dial here is one of the most important on these Audio Imperia libraries, and I'm glad that they've actually continued to include it. But the sample start, basically, when you record legato transitions, you're recording that little sound that happens between one note and another note. So let's say you're going from D to A, right? You're just jumping up to that fifth note, right? You would have the players play a D and then, legato, so actually physically go up to the A, and you capture that noise in between the two notes and you play it back. And now, obviously, that takes time. It takes time to go from one note to another. When you're playing live, you tend to do the movement in time with the music, right? You will do it so that you land on the beat. So you're slightly doing that movement before the beat, so the next note lands on the beat, right? But in samples, obviously, you can't tell something to happen before the MIDI note. That doesn't exist. So what you have is you have delay compensation. Again, we've been through this a few times, but in Cubase, it's up here. So all I do here is, you see how this one is minus 250? I can just come here and put minus 250. And now that means whenever I play something on the beat, on the actual well, let's put whatever, and then make it so they're legato. Actually, we keep the click on. And what you want to do is you want to have that sample start as long as you can physically have it, so that you have the most natural and full legato transition. That's what you want. You want that full. Without it, so let's just put it down to 0. So now I can have delay compensation at 0, but there'll be less legato sounding. So it'll sound more like f rather than la, ja, ja. Be more like la, blah, blah. Not blah, but. And again, back to the beginning. And it's subtle. It's something only really people who make music would be able to notice. I wonder if we can do like really fast. Probably not. This is still the holy grail. Being able to do proper string runs. Let's give it a go. It's not that bad, actually. Excuse me. I'm actually okay with how that sounds that fast. I feel like in a mix that would probably sound fine. Let's try the sustains. So sustain, just very similar to legato, but without the transition. So you can play multiple notes together. Helps if you actually play in range. Now, this is, yeah. So they do have vibrato control as well. So if you want that kind of softer, a tremolo. So what's the classic mix compared to this? Oh, much softer. It's good to have like half tone trills that kind of, for some reason, in other libraries, you need to trigger two notes to get trills to go and stuff, or they trigger in weird ways. It's nice to just have them as keys. Whole tone. You can't really do it that way. Nice little. Oh, we got some soltasto. We're not alone. Give me them tasty soltastos. This is just the violins, by the way. Does it hold? It does. Doop, doop, doo. Yeah, so you can hold the note, which you know is something I love. God, this is got a lot. Pizzicato. Yeah, this alone takes away the need for speed. No, it takes away the need. There you go. Why would we need the symphonic motions? We have pizzicato. We all know what pizzicato looks like. Okay. Yeah. It's hard to play that. Okay. So fast strings. Let's give it some. Let's give it a whirl, shall we? Let's put it up to 120. That's the most average of average. Right. So let's just start with simple rhythm. We'll pull these down. Right. So what I should do is just kind of. But this is how I naturalize my samples. Is I can never keep my mouse straight anyway. So I just kind of try and draw a straight line across, and it creates a more natural MIDI path there down at the bottom. And then I just add accents on here. They actually sound really tight. So that would have to change there. I like writing in D. Interesting. We could have this go just like a descending bass line. Yeah. So we probably want that there. Whatever. But yeah. And then we have spiccato. So I wonder what happens if we just change this to spiccato slow. Yeah, that sound shit. Yeah, I could just. That's on the slow though. So that feels odd because it feels like that almost shouldn't be as quick as it is. Now the far song. Oh. I have no idea what I'm doing. It kind of works. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't go down that way. Fuck. That's D. We were just there. Don't forget the MIDI compression. Oh, God. Here we go. There we go. Humanized. I need to hear that on a cello. Sorry. We will get to the cello separately, but I just want to hear that line on a cello quick before I move on. I'm going to put this all the way to the beginning. I want to hear all the juicy details. Oh, did it not go that high? Don't. And then bow, bow, down, 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 down. Yeah, it doesn't go that high, but man, that's an awesome sound. Anyway, I don't know why I went, but you know what I mean. Sounds awesome. Right. Staccato. Fuck, why do I suck at playing piano today? I told you I'm tired. That's what it is. Marcato short. Oh, I like that. Can I just point out something? And I know this will sound petty, but this this has put itself beyond what is it? Was it BBC SO, where if I lift off of the key on a marcato, it triggers the release tail rather than having to go to a switch and turn that on by default. And if I hold it, it plays the whole sample. It actually sounds really good. Your teacher recommended you watch me. You got a cool teacher, but slightly misguided. You will definitely learn some new vocabulary here. Love that. Okay, marcato long. Beautiful. Porto. Oh, bit of a dodgy question. So the Porto lasts for a while. And that's the Porto. Collegno. I mean, for anybody that's into that kind of thing. Oh. Can we hear through Black Hole minus the built-in reverb? Okay. Black Hole, no reverb, and then we'll put it on Sol Tasto so that we're going into the other verse. Right, let me turn that back off. Right, so that was the first violin. Let's move on to the viola. We'll get to you cellos. Don't you move. Right, let's turn that off. Right, is there anything else we missed in? So niente means, as far as I'm aware, niente means that it will go down to nothing. Right, so with the mod wheel all the way down there, you can still hear it. Niente, I think, means it will go to 0. So that you can fade literally out. Now you can't hear it. If I push this on, you should be able to hear it very gently. Why do violas always sound like they're played by cavemen? You know what I mean? With big knuckles. It always just sounds like dun, dun, dun. It's like they try, it's, let's just offend every viola player. It's like they wanted to play violin, but their hands were too big. So they had to invent but like they couldn't handle the cello. So if you're a viola player, I'm kidding. You never know when or how to write for a viola. Well, what you do is you look into the orchestra and you see if the person playing viola is somebody who you would maybe one day like to marry. And if you would like to marry the viola player, male, female, doesn't matter. You write viola parts. It's the only way. Basically, if you write a viola part, it's like you're like sending a love letter to that musician. It's like, I know the world neglects you, but I don't. I love you for who you are. I'm kidding, viola players. I'm kidding. Or am I? I actually love viola down in its proper, like, meaty range down here, you know? Don't fuck up the notes like that. So sustained. Was that Band of Brothers? Maybe. It's all that same kind of shit, you know, just any World War II film. Just major chords that sound sad. And then some sort of melancholic, really lazy trumpet over the top. Then when you want it to get dramatic, just go minor. And then it's all the same wanky shit. It's the same wanky shit. If you ever hear someone doing that over World War II after John Williams, it's lazy as fuck. It's like, that's what World War II sounds like. Lazy bastards, the lot of you. Anyone who's ever done a World War II thing, lazy bastards. Stream's doing the wobbly pitch thing. Yeah, go to settings and then turn off low latency mode or something. It's like the settings on the video. If you click it, I think it's bottom right, there's like a little settings wheel. Click that. There should be like a low latency thing. And basically what that means is Twitch will like adjust the sound and stuff to try and keep you up to date. But in music streams, it doesn't really work. It works in video game streams because you don't really notice the warbling. But it just means that you'll be a few seconds delayed, but not the end of the world. I've been into like these diminished chords. Some nice tremolo, some trill half tones. Dun 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 dun. All right. Dun 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 dun. Oh, yeah, I'm loving it so far. We're only on the violas. Mind you, we did do the cello spiccato thing, so that's we kind of jumped ahead. But yeah, so far this sounds great. It actually it reminds me of Cinematic Studio Strings, which is awesome because Cinematic Studio Strings is like my go-to library. And like the thing I'm loving about this is it has all the articulations you need and they're consistent. Unlike certain people that give some sections some articulations and not others, that should be like a heinous crime in our industry. How about some horror score, Daniel, along some Sinister or Silent Hill? Well, we could probably do some. Is that horror enough? I mean, it's hard to do it, but anyway, harmonics. Yeah, cluster incoming. Lazy bastard. That's what I am. My horror stuff usually involves going harmonic minor. But usually with that kind of stuff, I'm like, anyway, just shit like that, I love sustaining notes. Pizzicato. My Halloween stream back in the day, the one where I just had the face mask on. Right, spiccato files. I'm into that. I'm into it. How does it sound slow? It's funny, even the spiccato slow, I would say sounds great fast. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm not minus 100, 250 on. You know what I mean? Like it's on point. The only reason I'm putting it to 0 so there's less latency when I play. Right. Staccato is. Staccato is always the weird one to play. The best way I like to check them is I like to put them up against something choral. So I'll just load up the Oceana choir because it's very staccato-y. So let's give that a little go, shall we? A little. Replace the multi. Do it. Do it. Do it. Right. Oh, there's going to be like a huge delay, isn't there? Right. You hear like the delay, so I'd have to put this down to 0. Why is it good? That's like almost like Angels and Demons. And then just repeat that. Right? That's kind of. Okay, I definitely need this to be a sample start. Right, and then we can minus 250 that, and it should be in the same fucking time. Oh, interesting. It's missing out the first note. Okay, the reason it's doing that is because I fucked it up. Hang on. Interesting. I wonder why it keeps cutting off that first note. It's an odd thing to go wrong, isn't it? It's all. Oh fuck! It's because of that shit. You, I don't know if you guys can see it. You see that little MIDI tick underneath? Look. That actually stops the note from sounding for some reason. And also because I'm 250 before, need to start, so it should be. What the fuck? What is happening there? Oh, it's because yeah, that makes way more sense. No, it doesn't. I must have fucked something up. What happened there? Okay, I need to diagnose the issue. See what I mean? It's like missing that first note. Oh no, it's not. Ah, there it is. It's like all off by one beat. That's why it was sounding weird. Look at that. Everything was off by a beat. Fucking hell, it took me that long to figure that shit out. Although the good thing is because I like fuck up so publicly, it's very, very often that I won't do that again. I actually really like this as a way of listening between the differences. So Spiccato fast feels like if you're doing some sort of run, but spiccato slow actually feels better for when you actually want to hit, like when you want to feel the notes more. Like, just listen to the difference between the two. It's almost like a compressor, you know what I mean? It's like bringing out more of the room sound. So these are just like really succinct. You're hearing the rhythm. This is like the best of both worlds. You're hearing the rhythm and you're getting some of the note. Whereas this, you're getting like the majority of the note, but you wouldn't want to be going this fast. But I reckon maybe around 100, it'd sound fine. I think we've managed to make the viola sound palatable. Them big knuckled viola players, they can be proud. We've done them proud today, boys. Okay. Marcato long. Marcato Porto. Collegno, for those who like the ticky ticky ticky. And then those I don't really need to. What's a Sordino version of one of them? Oh, so it sounds like it's EQ'd Sordino. I don't know if they recorded different ones, but these are Sordino'd ones. Usually it's just an EQ sweep. Right, so let's move on to the Charlios. By that I mean cellos. I just say things in weird ways. Does anybody else do that? Just say things in weird ways for no good reason. Just for fun. Just because they can. Right, let's take a look at this sheet. Right, I definitely want this. Anyway, actually sounds really, really good. Let me put my reverb on. I want to hear what it sounds like. I'm just going to quickly put the violins. want to try something? Just want to try something? Don't judge me. We're still in the multis, by the way. It's going to be a long fucking video. Let's just get some of those going. Man, I tell you what, Audio Imperia have fucking nailed legatos, haven't they? Like, they've got the vibe down, like the playable vibe. You can play lines like that, and there's enough accent in the actual line. You know what I mean? Like, it actually does those kind of things really well. Yeah. Let's go. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the cello legatos. They sound so good. Yeah, so I can already say, I've just seen people post the price, $300 for what you're getting in this, fucking worth it. My God. Like, the thing that I'm liking about this is clarity. The clarity of legatos. Like this. Oh. Like, you see that sounds real. It feels like you're getting the... Right. Except for the... Yeah, and if you've got the other things, it's $200. This thing is a steal. And one other thing I love, and this is actually something that bugs me a little bit about cinematic studio strings, is in the cinematic studio strings, the legatos have variable delay times depending on how hard you press the key. You know, so you have to offset the MIDI to get it perfect and stuff. It does have a version where it's a more set time, but then you're kind of losing the point of what it's trying to do. The thing I like about this is because of this sample start button where you can actually set, like, because it's set at minus 250, I know for a fact that if I set this at minus 250, this won't work very well because it's super fast. But if I was to, like, slow this down to half of that speed. You know what I mean? It sounds like someone bowing it. This will sound. You know what I mean? Like the legato transition, because of that, being able to set how much of it you want depending on the environment. So like when you render down, obviously you want it minus 250, 100%, because then you're getting all the legato, all those extra little bits that make it feel realism. And it's like really, I don't know. And I 100% trust Audio Imperia. Like with their woodwinds and shit, you know, their legato is so on point. I'm like, I love it. And you see, this is what I mean, is that like all of these libraries coming out, and I give some libraries a hard time because they don't change anything. Like Audio Imperia is always just pushing like a little bit further. You know what I mean? It's like they make a library, an awesome library, and then I go, oh, there's like this, but this is wrong with it. Then the next one comes out and it's got those features. And then I point out things that I would love in it. And then the next one's got those features too. You know what I mean? Like they're constantly growing and improving. Oh man, I fucking love that. The choral sound of this cello. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, by the way, that was if you go to the vibrato, you can get a completely different sound. So that was with vibrato all the way up, with all the way down. So this is a much more kind of like Harry Gregson Williams or like James Newton Howard sound. but I personally prefer vibrato. It's one of those things. It's you can set it to a MIDI fader and change it at will regardless. So, but I always just prefer this tone. Right, let's have a listen to tremolos. Trills. Burn. Yeah, that's one thing about Audio Imperia that's really good is they are very good at cross grading and loyalty discounts. So if you buy into the Audio Imperia like orchestral ecosystem, you actually get a lot of decent deals. Oh, sustained console dinner. Please be nice. Be pretty. Oh, I'm in love. Oof, oof, beautiful. Let's have some soul tasties. I know it's Tasto. Let's just put that on. Just hold that. They have a nice warmness to them. I like it. Cello harmonics. By the way, pro tip. Pro fucking tip. If you want harmonics in your piece of music, use the samples. Now, that's not to say that they can't record. Like live players, that's not to say live players are incapable or unable to record harmonics. But the problem with harmonics is they take forever to get in tune. So you end up spending so much of your actual time, so much of your time in the session trying to get it pitched correctly, because harmonics, for whatever reason, just are difficult to pitch. So if you have harmonic samples, just use the samples. Most of the time, you're not writing with them anyway. You're just kind of holding chords. That one almost sounds like wine glasses. Right, let's take a look at the next one. Harmonics, pizzicato. Oh, we've got the fast cellos things. Yeah. Doesn't get that. I need like somewhere in between, like maybe like there. In this one, I actually like the sound of spiccato slow because it doesn't sound as aggressive. Check it out. Have a good time, Hal Valor. Marcato short. Oh, it doesn't go down. It sounds really good. Loving the cello on this one. Porto just feels like the Marcatos, to be honest. Collegno and Bartok picks. Again, just sounds that we don't use all the time. That's awesome sounding. Right. Now we're on to the double basses, which some companies deem too messy to record. Like any recording of the double bass will instantly make anything you do, unclear. So you've been warned. What wasn't that the excuse? Wasn't it? We didn't record double bass because it makes things messy. Oh, it's nice and deep. I'll take things that need context for 200. Goes nice and fat, doesn't it? So basses will whip through because, you know. Tremolos. Usually bass tremolos are really aggressive. There's something about bass players. Whenever you ask them to do a tremolo, they can't contain themselves. They give it everything they fucking got. Like, they got no chill. You know what I mean? Cello players used to playing nice and delicate. Violin players, you know, they've got the... Bass players are like, bass go brrr. You know what I mean? No chill whatsoever. Oh, that's actually horrible. I mean, like horrible as in scary. It's not the size that counts, ambient Dave. It's how you use it. You don't need to be so aggressive just because it's big. The bow, that is. We're talking about double bass bow. Consort. Oh, that sounds thick. I wonder what it sounds like without vibrato. Did you see a double bass? I'm pretty sure size matters. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like size matters to get the sound, but with the bow, you don't have... Having a bigger bow doesn't mean you have to play more aggressively. It means you've... Sure, it may be more difficult. It just means you've got to try harder to sound more. Again, we're talking about double bass bows, nothing else, you perverted-minded buggers. I give everybody shit for this. Like these ones you can turn up a little bit. Like, I get it. I understand that in real life it wouldn't be that loud, but you know, there's no point having something this quiet when it's at full max, you know. Anyway, harmonics on a bass. Oh, they did it. The mad lads. So I've just put black hole reverb back on. A cool thing to do with bass harmonics, because they sound very otherworldly. Put them in a reverb and then pitch bend them. And the reason the reason I put the black hole, I'll take it off, but it's the reverb. When you have a long-tailed reverb and you do pitch bend, you don't feel the pitch bend as much as it kind of like fills this, like the air. Like this is it with it off. Like you feel it just feels like it does that. Whereas when you put black hole on, because you do that, so like you have the reverb tail of like the actual note still going as you're pitching over. So it's sort of like on a synthesizer when you have two oscillators that are the same, and then you slightly detune one, you get more of a chorusy kind of fat effect. It's sort of like that, but not quite as... It's like the bend has context. You're giving context to the bend so that it feels more like an actual musical movement rather than a MIDI manipulation. Just pro tips and techniques. I got asked that the other day, by the way. Someone said to me, "What DJ? Why do you give away all your tips and tricks to new composers? Aren't you scared they'll take your job?" My reasoning is if I have to hide my techniques in order to get the job, I'm probably not the best person for the job. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I want to genuinely call myself a composer and a good one, I feel like I should be able to compete when everybody's on the same playing field. So that that's why I don't mind giving it away too much. Like all these little tips and secrets and stuff. It's that like, if I'm not good enough to compete when you know as much as me, like, am I the right person for the gig? But you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, art should be like the best person for the job, not just who can hide the most secrets. But it's like, you know, I feel like it's more than just the techniques. There's, you know, it's about your ear. It's about the whole package. And I like to share. Oh, I can turn off black hole now. Share your package. Come on now. Rude. Bass players would hate it if you wrote them a line like this. I'm going to slow it down because they would play half that speed, wouldn't they? By the way, by the time Corona's over, that beard will be on the floor. I know. Like, by the way, this beard, this is my plague beard. The aim is to shave it off once the plague is over. However, the plague in America just doesn't seem to want to end. So I'm gonna have this full thing. Although I'm growing attached to it, I feel like I'm gonna look weird now when I shave this off. Like I will no longer feel transcended. Sounds like Fin Troll now. Did you know that my wife is friends with Fin Troll? Like when we lived in Japan, we went out drinking with them a few times. Fun small world story. Yeah, random connections I have. Like, I kind of want to keep the beard, but my wife keeps going, like, well, basically, my wife just keeps telling me I look ugly. Oh, that's good. The Mind Waker. My wife is also streaming, so if you want to hear Fintroll stories, I'm sure she can tell you some. Yeah, she was friends with them for years. Used to go on tour with them, I think. It's hard to show off basses because they only ever really go. That cello reminds me of the GTA 4 theme. Yeah, although this is a double bass, but yeah, I know what you mean. Something like that, innit? Does something like that. A groupie, yeah, that hussy. It's so funny because I didn't know who Fintroll was when we were hanging out with them. We were just chilling out with them in Japan, just showing them the place. That was one of the first dates me and my wife had in Japan, was going to a Fintroll concert, and then we just hung out with them afterwards. And then one of them, we went to like a izakaya, I think it is. What is it? Like the little pub, but it was like really early in the morning. It was one of these like super late at night open late night places. And then one of the guys got really drunk and walked over the table and broke it. And I was like, oh no, I'm with animals. But they were cool. They like all of them were cool. Mikhail, or it's a Miko or a Mikhail. One of those guys is the lead guy. But anyway, yeah, we were hanging with them. They're good guys. Good guys. Again, what random people that I know. Okay. So now we're moving on. We've got some orchestral ensembles. They don't have a full orchestral ensemble, which slightly bugs me. Right. So now we've got legato for violas and violins. Oh, it's a nice combo, actually. That's actually really regal sounding. Right, let me have a look at the reverb. Let's try a hall. This sounds too muddy and imprecise, Paul Thompson. Yeah, well, it does have a viola in it, and apparently that does make it muddy and imprecise. So. Just going to put my reverb over it. Okay, so sustains will be a little better, right? So are these ensembles recorded? Are they recorded ensembles, or did they just put the two packs together? It's hard to tell. Nice one, Cyril. So we're just going to bust through these because we've... because a lot of them will sound the same as what we've already heard. Beautiful. Lovely. Oh, there's some loud harmonics. I'll have it go to niente, please. Is the piano still the gentleman? Yeah, piano's always the gentleman. Everybody asks me that every stream. What's the piano? We want to steal it. All right. We have this. Slow that down, just see what it sounds like with staccato. All the wrong notes. That was a horrible movement. The dodgy question. These were, for some reason, these ones are sharper, so I'm going to put it on the classic mix if I can. Because the classic mix always seems to fit better. You see what I mean? It's less harsh. I call that the Silent Hill chord. Which is basically just it's a minor chord with the second in there as well. This is new, Tom 13 made. I do sometimes wonder what goes into a username. Thom 13 made. What did he make? What did he make when he was 13? Ambient Dave makes sense. The Stig. The Paul Thompson alarm clock. I'll give you a Paul Thompson alarm clock. Here we go. That is Paul Thompson's approach. It's like they want to show the beauty, and he's like, and now I've got this. Just listen to the beauty of these strings. Isn't it gorgeous? And then Bartok's right. Let's listen to the cello and bass. Let's get through this. Now I'm going to be stuck on this one, I imagine. I didn't mean literally as in like it won't load. I meant I'll be stuck because I like the legato. I'm going to put the octave down because... Holy fuck. Uno momento, por favor. Let me just put some brass with that. Let's just go with the tuba. We got tuba in here. Just for shits and giggles, I want to see what they sound like together. Oh, wait. It's filthy, and I love it. Right, what's the sustains like, though? So this is basically going to be a bass instrument because it doesn't go higher than this. I assume because they recorded them together, they just went to the highest note you could do on the bass there, or like most comfortable. The trems. Beautiful. When you're down this low, the trill kind of doesn't even matter anymore. Imagine that's quite hard to do on a bass. Consort. Harmonics. Same things we did before. Oh, beautiful haunting sound. I'm in. Fuck, I need to sneeze again. The aircon's blowing all the dust at me. There's one thing I've learned about California is it's dusty as fuck. That was the one thing I had to avoid on Maneater, doing that. On Maneater, it was like anytime I went Jaws, I was just like, you know what? No. Didn't that sound like Gladiator? That's because it was missing notes out, but that rhythm sounded like Gladiator to me.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the 13th Legion, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I shall have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Fuck.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Just gets deeper into it.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the 13th Legion, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I shall have my vengeance in this life or the next.
That's a different thing.
I have a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Let my daughter go. That'll be the end of it. I will not hunt you. Refuse, and I will find you. I will kill you.
The only patch that ever really needs a Bartok pizzicato. And even then, it's just a layer with percussion, I'd say. It's very rarely that you'll be like in somewhere nice and then it's like, done. Right. Where are we up to? Where are we up to? Tight. I think we've got it for now. Right. So we don't need to do sections. We don't need to do that. So we've done that. Full on. Oh, they did do a full ensemble. There's me giving it the big one. There's a full ensemble waiting for me. No legato though. What have they started with? For some reason, Marcato low. What do you think? Oh, whatever the fuck it is. I wanted sustains. It goes fucking loud. So, like, if you're wanting to do big epic, right? But I tend to play down in the emotion zone, the emo zone. Beautiful sound. It's so violent. half tone. So we're going to go through these ones quick. Well, I want to check this out though. Or whatever the fuck that is.
I often wonder what happened to the captain. Some say that he died of his wounds, but I like to think that he maybe, just maybe, he found some measure of peace.
That's all I hear with those types of harmonics. Can't remember the line. I don't know how that goes either. So I'm going to stop where I fucked up and just move on with my life. So I need to put this at minus. No, how'd it go? Fuck. Or whatever. Or there is. Or you know the general gist. I always play the same ones because staccatos are usually meant for accents, you know, like downbeats. Jack Sparrow. This is definitely more Jack Sparrow than certain other ones were. Battle failed, indeed. Indeed. Nice one. Porto. Cold legs. And right. So that's, I think, that's like the basic bits done. So that was the multi-patches. So we don't need to do that. Performance patches. I have no idea what this is. Ah. Just realized you can't actually see what I'm playing there. So I feel like this, like there's no explanation, there's nothing going on here. So I imagine this is just the same. So you can actually write lines that are like, all right, but there's like a delay. Okay. Okay, let me turn the delay down a little bit. What is it without? Okay. Yeah, maybe not so much. So it's basically just the same thing, but with like staccato overlaid. So you can play lines. Oh, it crashed. Hey, look, there's my backdrop. See what secrets you can find. So we had our first crash. That was unfortunate. So let me get back to those. How are you guys enjoying it so far? So my first impressions while we wait for it to reload so far, fucking love the tone of it. It's got a very similar tone to Cinematic Studio Strings, which is my bread and butter library. And by that, I mean it's not dry, it's not wet. Wow. It's not dry, it's not wet. It's like somewhere in between. But it's got the tone. It's got cinematic tone. Well, like that library we looked at the beginning, which I keep bouncing on, but like, so we'll not call it out by name. But like the string library we were looking at in the trailer or the walkthrough earlier. You know what I mean? And they were saying that it has the cinematic sound, and it's like not really. Whereas this does. Like this, particularly the cellos on this, I'm in love with. But one thing about it's got that cinematic tone out the box, like Cinematic Studio Strings does. And I'm always a fan of that. You know what I mean? I'm always a fan of one that just sounds good out the box. And I remember with certain other libraries, particularly ones that like I was given by a certain other company. And I'm like, it's okay, but it's going to take work out the box to get it to like this kind of level. And the excuse always was like, if you're not spending time making it sound good, then like you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like all the nonsense that comes back, the excuses that come with it. Like this sounds great out the box, and certain other libraries don't sound great out the box. You could get them to where you need them to be. It's just more work. So the excuse that like, yeah, you need to know all your sample libraries inside out and back to front in order to make and it's like, well, there's others that do it just fine without. So I don't think we need to go through the performance ones. They're just the same thing, but with like, you can play them like a performance. Right, measured tremolos. Let's see what this is. Oh, okay. You have my curiosity, but now you have my attention. Right. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be like, I see what they're doing. I see what they're doing here. Sneaky. This is the equivalent of Wait. Why can't I click that in? What is this? What have I been subjected to? Why can I not click these in? What is this? Why am I stuck with the accents? So yeah, this is like the arc from Lass. Except I can't seem to adjust these. Interesting. Is there a lock or something that I'm missing? There is a lock. Ooh, no. Oh, God. There is a lock, but the lock doesn't seem to do anything. Is mine bugged? Move the lines. I can't. They go back. Interesting. They're supposed to? Yeah, it looks like... Oh, that worked. Why did it work all of a sudden? This still doesn't work. Okay. I literally changed nothing and now it works, but, you know, whatever. You guys saw that, right? Like, I didn't click anything and now it works. I don't know what happened there. So we'll pull it down. Maybe it was because, yeah, okay, it's because I was up at the top. So you can't enter the data in when it's at the top. You can't do that. You have to bring it down to the bottom. So this is what it is at its most bottom. That's the only way you can do that. Okay, you live and learn. Let's just do like this weird... Do that. So if I'm correct, I just need to add lines like this. Let's just legato that. And then it's pretty cool, actually. Can you go niente and get rhythms? Yes. So let's try. So if I pull this all the way to the bottom, let's try it. Let's see if it goes niente. Yeah, so you can go niente. Although the annoying part is, like, when the mod wheel is up, I can't adjust it further up. So, like, because what I would want to do is, like, have it so that even here, this is down at 0 so that I can keep that as a thing. But I can't. And I can't do anything with these either. It's a shame. So, like, it's a bit finicky, but I'm sure that they'll be working on it. Now, do we have the option to throw this as an arpeggio? What's this? Second violins. Okay. Oh, that's cool. So you can have it so that it seems like you can have it so that it plays them all together like this. Oh, sorry, was that lagging? It looks like we're back. We did drop 850 frames, but it looks like we're back. Where did I get to? What was I saying before it started lagging? Let me know and I'll go back. But yeah, So you can go niente, but like you can't bring it up and then go niente. Like you can only program the rhythm when it's at 0%. That's a shame. I wish you could program it from 100% instead, because that makes more sense to me. You know what I mean? I want it to be like when my thing is at 100%, that's the rhythm that I'm ending on, but you can only do it from the bottom. And also I just noticed that it seems to have like corrected me. Wait, so that's my minimum one, but then when I go to the top, what happened there? Oh, like, and then if I, oh God, that sucks. Okay, so like you can only set it when it's down at the bottom like this, right? Right, and then it stays ratio with the mod wheel. But if you go up and then click on any of them, see, it resets the whole thing. that could be annoying. So let's say that we set up a rhythm, right? Fine. What? Right, and that's fine. But if I was to go all the way up, I think maybe even here. Yeah, like if I go all the way up and then just click once on anything, it resets them all. I found a bug. I found Jan. I found a bug. Jan, I found a bug. Yeah, this seems to be a little bugged for me for some reason. So I feel like these are key switches so you can change different rhythms. So let's try setting that up. So we'll set up we'll set up like the 3-3-2 on here, like this, and then on this one we'll set up 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, like continuous 1 2 3s, right? And then we'll go 1 2 at the end. And I would like to point out that there are certain other libraries putting out repeated patterns at the minute where you cannot program your own accents. Did I just recreate like the Skyrim battle music? Fusroda! Sorry. Do you ever do that when you're playing and you hear something else immediately? Like, anyway. So, like, that could be a problem. But you can see like how you can set up like your individual rhythms, and then you can key switch between them. Anyway, so as I was saying, the second violins, you can switch that on. And I think this means octave above or octave below. Just spreads it out a little bit. But I'm going to turn that off because I prefer the sound of it like normal. I wonder what it sounds like classic mix. It's actually and that's, again, one of the things I commend companies for doing, adding things that make our life as composers easier, not harder, just for the sake of it. Can I move these? I can't move these. Yeah. I can only program when the mod wheel's at the bottom. So this is basically a complete replacement for anybody who's still using LA scoring strings for their ostinato like this. Well, it's a measured tremolo. So basically, yeah, it's like doing rhythms. Someone asked if you can do triplets. You can. It's a shame you can't just click on the +2 thing. You have to drag it. Let's just put it. They literally pitched it as altering the accents and didn't show the niente as far as I know, because niente was your first idea. So niente, again, it is there, which basically just means that when it goes to 0, it's silent. Oh. Interesting. So if I put it to niente like this and have the mod wheel all the way down, it only plays the first note. Yarn! Yarn! I found more bugs. Damn it. Somebody summon yarn. But if I move the mod wheel up even 1%, look, 1%. Okay, I can't get it to 1%. I'm too finicky. There we go, 1%. And then it works. Is there proportional level adjustment? I mean, there's expression, so... I mean, you could turn it down like that. So this is cool. Like, what I would probably do is set up a preset, because the rhythms I tend to go between are like this kind of 3+3+2 thing, you know, the... and straight ones. So that's going to be cool for like when you just want to set up a rhythm instead of having to program it all in, you just... Particularly on bass instruments. Just going to save you a lot of time. Beautiful sounding, beautiful. Right, let's move on. Measured trems. Oh, we're on sound design. Here we go. So this is the last bit, pads. Pad me up, baby. Ooh, they added attack and release. Nice. Probably move this in. Pad 1, colors, horizon. They're great ambience tones, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm picking up a load of resonance in the middle. Like right about, I'd say about here. Actually, around about here. Okay, let's have a look. I reckon it's going to be around here somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I was close. It's like there. Like, if it was me, I'd pull that out. I'd pull a bit of that out. I'd probably pull this down. Maybe not quite as aggressive. Yeah. Personal preference, I imagine. It's just more of them. So inside. Why do we have like... Oh, we've got like low drones down here, look. Whoa. My house is shaking. Anybody else vibrating? Damn. There's like some bass range down here. MGSV has one of the most amazing soundtracks ever. You demand. Thank you. I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it. Although, like, we can't discredit, obviously, Ludwig Forsell, Justin Burnett. Or Harry, you know? I mean, there is Harry too. Oh, them low drones though, bro. How low does the solo oboe go though, bro? You drone. The bass go burr. You can't... What's the meme? DJ, you can't just hold bass notes and expect it to be a film score. Bass go burr. That was nice. That was nice. Oh, this is the last one. Vast. Let's put it in A. Okay, I'll put on black hole. Yeah. Boost the lows. Okay. That's what you want. And then, of course, we got effects here. But, like, you guys know what effects do. Put distortion on it. What if we put a rotor on it? Man, fuck yes. Fuck yes. Anyway, so that is my first look. Audio Imperia's Aria? Someone will correct me. That is my first look. So, impressions. My first impressions. So, it's the same similar user interface as we got in Nucleus. And so I already kind of know how it works. And again, the reason I didn't go into detail onto how all those things work is I imagine many of you have already seen the official walkthroughs or the many, many, many properly done walkthroughs by various other composers out there on YouTube these days. So I feel like being as though we were, at your time is precious, sticking along with me would probably be better served actually listening to the sounds. So we did that instead. So first look, the sounds instantly sound cinematic to me. They sound like cinematic studio strings in that regard. All the sections are feature full. So you've got all the articulations for everything, including harmonics, real consorts, short spiccato, fast spiccato, slow spiccatos, and staccatos. Two types of marcato, a porto, legato for each of them. You have all the sections, including viola and double bass, and it didn't make it sound murky or anything like that. So that sounded fantastic. The legato, amazing. The legato doesn't do fast runs. We're still not there, but it does fast movements. Like you can get up to da 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 da. You know what I mean? You can get proper legato like that sounding. You wouldn't be able to get. But like if you've got something that's like da 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 da, and sometimes when you're doing film score and stuff, a lot of you will probably know this. Is sometimes you want to have like an arpeggio, like it's just a scene where you need forward momentum. So an arpeggio is what is perfect. Da 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 da. And sometimes the spiccatos are just too accented. Dun 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 dun, and it feels a bit too like either militaristic or too like go get 'em. And sometimes you just want that legato passage that you can fade in and fade out. And this you can do that on because Audio Imperia have really, really improved. Not improved, but they've gradually, well, yeah, I suppose improves the right word. They've over their libraries, their legato has been getting better and more refined. And now that we have that knob so that we can literally decide for ourselves how much compensation we want in the MIDI. Like I always whack mine down to minus 250 because that gives you all those little elements, all those little transitions, all that little bit. Because like I say, so the best way to think of it is like a spiccato, right? When someone plays a spiccato, if you had 0 milliseconds, right? 0 millisecond delay, what you would be doing is cutting the sample on the transient. Done. So the moment when the bow was at its highest peak, that's where it would cut the sample. But as many of you know, a lot of the sound actually comes from the bow just about to hit the string, just hitting the string, just getting it up. And all of those things require pre-delay. And the fact you can set your own pre-delay, the same as Nucleus, same as Jaeger, makes it incredible. And I did mention those other two. So Nucleus is like their intro level one, right? It's one that covers the whole orchestra, but a little bit more basic. So not many... Well, it's not as many. It's like there's not as many articulations per section and it's ensemble. Whereas this is broken out into sections and you get an ensemble and it's deeper. So it's like if you already have Nucleus, this is perfect if you want to bolster the strings. If you want to make the strings, with more, if you want more features in your strings, this is a perfect addition on top of that. And Jaeger, compared to this, Jaeger's a bit different. So Jaeger's similar. It has brass and things like that. But Jaeger has a lot of these articulations, again, not quite as deep as this one is when it goes to strings. But Jaeger is more of like a drier, in general, more of a drier library. Like I always like to think of it as like my accenting library. It's the library I put if I want things to be a bit sharper or a bit more clean. Whereas this one definitely leans more towards that cinematic, epic sound out the box. So it's leaning more towards the right of epic, whereas left is soft, right is epic. It's definitely leaning towards the right of center for these types of things. So if that's the type of sound, if you're into that Hollywood type movie sound, this is going to be good for you. If you like that cinematic studio, like if like me and you use cinematic studio strings all the time, this is a perfect replacement. Or like if you're just getting, you know, too used to one sound, this is a great library to switch over. From what the chat room tells me, there's some rather generous cross grade prices. So if you are already a Nucleus or a Jaeger user, I think you get a discount. And we now have Jan in the chat room, who is the creator. You've come in a bit late there, Jan. All in all, I fucking love this thing. You can take my word as you like it. They did send it through to me, but I think the 2.5 hours of listening to it, I think you can probably come to the same conclusion yourself. If you disagree, that's fine. But for me personally, this is going to be, I think, now I've had to play with everything. I think this will probably be my alternate for cinematic studio strings, which is my usual bread and butter library. This is going to be my alternate because it's got a very similar sound and it's got lots of very similar controls. The dog agrees with me. Everybody's happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first look today. If you're watching this on YouTube, this will be where the video ends today. So I hope you enjoyed. If you're watching this on Twitch, by the way, we will be carrying on after this, so stick around. But if you are watching on YouTube, do make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, whatever it is that YouTube requires you do to see videos these days. Make sure you do that. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.